at the Allstate. Prior to today's game, Billy sat down with reigning MVP of the AHL, Jason Krog.
Thank you, Jason. And sitting beside me, I've mentioned as of late, we've had a lot of interviews with past players that, of course, last year were terrific players in the long season and the winning championship season. And I've said a lot about individuals, but I'll say in my 7 years being a Chicago Wolves broadcaster that I saw a lot of great players. And by far, in my eyes, the best player I ever saw is sitting to my right. A joy to watch and a great gentleman, no doubt about it. Let's talk quickly about the Manitoba Moose, your new team this year. 3/4 of the way through the season, you are in first overall in the American Hockey League. Is there similarities to last year's team with the team you're on now?
I would say no. Just the fact that you know, we were such a run and gun team in Chicago, and you know, could score almost at will when we needed to, and you know, not that we're not a great team in Manitoba, we are a great team, but we're a totally different philosophy where, we start from the back end, our goaltending's fantastic, and, we play very solid defensively, and, we rely on winning games 2-1, 3-2, and, it's worked for us, and, defense can win championships too.
I recently read this past week. You said you weren't playing as well as you think you can. You still think you've got a lot in the tank. I don't even want to talk about that because we're playing you, and we got you another time. I want to ask you, though, your relationship, and we saw you play 2 great years, with Darren Hadar and Brett Sterling. It was a dynamic line for 2 strong years. What's it like playing against a guy like Darren Hadar, that not only professionally, but you played with school, and the other night he had 4 helpers against you?
Yeah, it's usually not too bad, but he gave me a couple minuses the last game, and that wasn't too good. But I'm always rooting for him. He's a great player to play against, and I was fortunate to get to play with him, and hopefully someday I'll get to play with him again. But he just goes out there quietly and gets it done. And like we were just talking about, he's back in top 10 in scoring, and he's got his team right up at the top of the standings too.
I have to ask you about last year. We talked early in the season, Jason, and we talked about Darren Hadar winning the most valuable player, and a great year it was. You guys lost the semifinals to Hamilton, and what your motivation would be. Now, I think you knew that coming into last year, it was almost a dormy year in the fact that you wouldn't get a shot in Atlanta, and we all knew that. We didn't realize why. We didn't want to realize why, but you should have been there. There's no doubt in our eyes. But the year you had, you were MVP. You were MVP in the playoffs. You won the goals. You won the scoring. You were a first-team All-Star. You did it all with really not a lot behind to motivate you to get to the next level because of the Atlanta situation. The one thing I will say is I mentioned it to you at the start of the year about Darren Hadar.
Yeah, maybe it was your challenge at the beginning of the year, but no, I mean, I think anybody who plays hockey wants to win a championship, and that's what it's all about. And Chicago always puts together a team where you have a good opportunity. I think we had such a good core coming back, and we knew we were that close, and a couple bounces here and there against Hamilton, and I think we could have won. I think our team was just as good the year before, and so I think that was it. We had a young team that first year, and everyone developed a little bit, especially our defensive core, and so why not? I mean, we're here. It's a great place to play, and why not?
The one thing I did mention was the fact that you did also win the goal scoring, and it's a trophy you can win, but it wouldn't have happened, solely at least, if it wasn't for, in that last game, your left winger, Brett Sterling. We're going to show you that play, very unselfish of him.
Yeah, it was, unbelievable. He didn't have to do that, and, actually I was thankful he was called up for a couple months too, so it gave me a chance to catch up to the goals. But, just like you said, a really unselfish play for a guy that, is a great goal scorer and, a guy who's fun to play with.
Jason, it's very difficult, especially at this pro level. You have a lot of good teams that sometimes do not win because the chemistry is not quite there. Last year, I don't believe I've been around a group that was so tightly knit, and that's one of the reasons why you were able to win. I thought when Joel Kwiatkowski came back from Atlanta, that was a big kick in the can for you guys. Talk about the chemistry and how close you guys were together.
Yeah, I don't think, even talking to the guys this year, I don't think anyone realized how close we were and what a great group we were and how well we got together until you're away from it. It was just such a fun year, and I think that's why we did so well. A huge part of it was obviously the chemistry and how the locker room was, and everyone was unselfish and just played for each other, and it was really a team. Everyone was out there playing for everyone.
Last year in the finals against the conference finals against Rockford, there was a division finals. Pardon me. The Mustaches came into play in Game 6. You guys were able to win that. You played very well. But I want to talk about the last game, the clinching game here at Allstate Arena against Wilkes-Barre, and your 3 goals. We're going to show you those 3 goals and what a display it was for you personally. But such a nice game to score these 3 in.
Well, yeah, I don't think I'd scored yet in the final, so Hadar was giving me a little bit of heat. It was my turn to step up and do something, and you know, obviously, fortunately, I got some great passes from guys on the team, and I know I'm gonna get opportunities playing with the guys that I have out there, and fortunately, I was the guy that got to be the hero in that game, but there was 22 guys or whatever that were heroes throughout the playoffs. So.
Absolutely. What a great city to win a championship in. After it was over, the celebration was phenomenal for about 10 days. I want to know your highlight after the season. We do have some pictures of you guys, you and Darren at Wrigley Field, which had to be a blast.
Yeah. Like you said, the whole 10 days was amazing, but the funnest part for me was, obviously the hour that we were on the ice afterwards celebrating, and then coming in the locker room, it was just crazy in there, seeing everyone, how happy everyone was, just hugging and, enjoying that time together. We didn't leave there until about 1 in the morning, so, that's the best time.
Talk about this organization. Obviously, you're with a good one, and there's only a few, I think, in the American Hockey League that do it right, but this certainly is one of the best places to play.
Oh, for sure. I think I've said this before this year that, some NHL teams have, their minor league teams strictly for development and, giving their young kids a chance to play, which is, one philosophy, whether they win or lose, it doesn't really matter. And there's a handful of organizations that go out and, build teams not only to develop but to win. And, I think that at a young age, learning to win is a huge factor in your development and, how guys turn out and just, building their character as a player.
Folks, nothing but class on and off the ice. A pleasure to watch. I'm sorry to say it's in a different uniform in today's game, but Jason, thanks for joining us, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
We'll be back with more of the first intermission after this.